Hi, this is Ron from POCculture.com. Anu, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Ron? I love what's going on in the background.
Very timely for your episode. Thank you so much.
I love
Um, I love this too, and I'm loving this show. My first question for you is just how the experience has been for you since the series has dropped and all the fans have been reacting so well to it. How have you experienced that?
that's thank you for asking that. Well, it's funny because I feel like I can enjoy it as a fan because the first four episodes are all like Jessica, Kat, the cast who I love. Like I'm just like great. Like so, I felt so happy and so grateful that people are liking it and feeling close to Jennifer and loving She-Hulk. Like there's no better feeling than like wow, these guys really worked so hard and care so much and it's connecting, like people are connecting, so that's great. And then I was also like, oh, I take no credit for that because I didn't start working till now. So but I'm so excited. I hope people enjoy the next few episodes coming up.
Well, you definitely deserve your piece of the credit. And this last episode, your first episode directing, was amazing. Everybody on the cast and crew seems to be having so much fun with this series. And what do you think it is the key to having such great chemistry?
I think it's like just the same as like when you meet friends you really love, like you're like, oh, I see you and you see me and we understand each other. And I feel like the cast just really understands each other and they really get a kick out of each other. Like they're genuinely friends. And and it was so fun because like as a director, you're kind of hoping that so that you can feel like they're playing around and they're getting inspired and they're listening. So it's sort of like that was a dream. It was a dream job and it was super fun. And then I was like, oh, I'm so happy they all like each other a lot. That's great.
And I've heard you say that during filming, you felt really close to the character of Jennifer Walters. What is it about the character that really resonates with you?
I mean, yeah, like I felt so close and so protective of Jen, like because she's a 30 something woman who's like spent so much of her time working. She hasn't really put the time into balance, like her social life with her work life. And then this entire other identity gets thrust upon her. And then having to like deal with that and sort of come to terms with that, having other people define who you are is a really, like I think there's a lot of different ways a person can relate to that. Like even from the pilot, the fact that she thinks that she's a diversity hire is like so real. And so I just was like, wow, like I connect to so many different avenues of your story. And she's like not self-serious. She's funny. She's just trying to make it work. She gets knocked down, but then she always gets up. She comes from a place of kindness and never of even with Titania, she's like, well, I'll take one picture. Like she's like not mean. And I just like love her. I was like, oh yeah, we would be friends. And so I think that's why I feel close to her.
And your episode in particular, it's very not action heavy. It's very much a struggle of identity, and she's dealing with this identity. What do you hope that through the journey that fans kind of learn about Jennifer Walters?
Yeah, I think that's really true. Like there's so much. She's so real. Like there's that scene in the courtroom when she finds out like that guy liked her as She-Hulk, but wouldn't really like her as Jen. And the pain you feel on She-Hulk's face as she's like, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Like I'm not upset, but I am. It's so real. It's like because like she doesn't even like that guy. It's just the way that made her feel bad about herself. And that is so like the journey of like self-love and self-acceptance, which are such like cool words now, but that is a real journey that like I think a lot of people are going through. And so I think like ideally like she will learn to love herself just the way she is.
Yeah. And that's such an important message. And I think part of that we've really seen, and we see in your episode, particularly with, Renee, Elise Goldsberry, and Ginger Gonzaga, there's so much like support and encouragement from the other women characters. What's the story that you're building with all the support system around Jennifer Walters?
Yeah, I mean, again, that's like such a credit to the writers and the cast, but like there's subtlety also in like the female friendships, like the friendship with your best friend who you work with. There's also that sort of colleague who you want to be friends with, but there isn't like a common language there yet. And that friendship takes time to build. It can't just happen overnight. And I think that just also is very real. And what the actors bring to those characters is so many other layers and shades I think like the way Renee plays Mallory is so funny and interesting. And so I love what she's doing with her. And Ginger adds so much to Nikki. Like she just, yeah. So I just think like there's a lot of shades to them. Like that's the only thing about a 30-minute runtime. You can't, there's so much stuff that's on the cutting room floor.
Well, it's been really great so far, and I loved your episode. Can't wait to see the rest. And congratulations on the series.
Thank you so much.